Hi everybody, welcome to Current Events. We're going to be reading the Driftless Journal from Tuesday, February 9th and the Decorah Public Opinion from Thursday, February 11th. Let's get started. Start out with the Driftless Journal. It's the wedding edition of the Driftless Journal for all the brides and grooms planning their weddings, and so there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there. And there's 2 articles about residents who live here that we'll be reading. And in addition to that, let's see if there's other news that we should get to first. Let me just check the obituaries so that there's nobody we need to read that for. There's a nice echoes of the past. It's really lots of advertising for wedding stuff, which we don't need, because I don't think any of us are getting married. Maybe we are, but we don't know. Maybe some stuff, but for us, I think, really, we're just going to read the 2 articles about residents who live here. So, first we have this wedding photo. See if you recognize that couple. They both live here. It's Cliff and Elaine Schrader from their wedding in 1944. A lifelong exchange of mutual values. Elaine Anderson and I first met at a youth conference in Minneapolis, says Cliff Schrader. It was like any other conference, and neither of us thought it would be as life-changing as it was. He described their dating as very casual and involving groups of friends that they had known for a long time. My proposal of marriage was somewhat on the spur of the moment and took place in Darts Park in Owatonna, Minnesota. Witnesses to the event were a bunch of ducks and geese who were permanent residents of the park. Since I was a poor college student, I substituted my high school class ring as an engagement ring. It didn't fit her finger, so we wrapped tape around it to make, continue on page 19, to make, here we go, to make it the right size, says Cliff. Cliff had gone to college a year before Elaine, and part of her motivation to attend the same college was all the dating opportunities that were available on campus. The United States was in the midst of World War II, and most of the boys were in the military service. Cliff recalls, our wedding day 1 year later was September 11th, 1944. We were married in Owatonna on a Monday. It was a cloudy, overcast day, and since we had the ceremony in the afternoon, it decided to rain. Marriage and college. During college, Cliff was working full-time at a company that made shells and machine gun barrels for the war effort, and Elaine worked part-time in the college library and for the dean of the college. The cost of college and the requirements of marriage mean that you have to be a person of determination and motivation, says Cliff. According to the couple, compared to the demands of a country at war, the requirements of life are not all that different for young couples today. The important values are still empathy, putting yourself in your spouse's shoes, trust, motivation, and determination. In our view, the greatest of these is empathy, says Cliff. Often there's a struggle in a marriage relationship to see who's going to be the dominant person. We have found that our marriage has worked better when we mutually practice the values mentioned above. The couple says they are reminded of a cartoon from years ago which said, life is like an ice cream cone. You have to know how to lick it. All right, that was Cliff and Elaine Schrader's story. And now we've got another couple from Aussie. That is Dale and Sarah Putnam's wedding picture from August 31st, 1997. And we've got the title, Talk, Share, Laugh, Hug. Change is Inevitable. 23 years later, I still have many crystal clear memories of our wedding day. Most very happy, like watching my soon-to-be stepdaughters having such fun getting their hair styled, said Sarah. But a few quite sad, like watching Dale's best man holding up a cell phone at the ceremony so my mother, who was very ill and not able to attend, could listen to us exchange vows in her care facility. But the first memory that always comes to Sarah's mind of that day is holding hands with Dale, looking him in his eyes and saying, I do, and knowing with absolute certainty that this was the man she would be with for the rest of their lives. How things can change. Sarah says, when Dale and I married, we were both young-ish, healthy, able-bodied, and able to care for ourselves and one another. Over the years, there were times that I needed more caring for and times that Dale needed more caring for. Adjusting to that imbalance in our relationship was challenging each time, but also brought us closer together. The couple says they learned to put things in perspective in order to realize what was critical to hash out and work through and what they should just let go. A bit of advice. I am sure today's busy schedules and inescapable technology present changes Dale and I didn't face. But I think some of the biggest challenges today's young couples face are likely the same that couples have for years. Communicating well, making time to grow the relationship, establishing healthy boundaries, working through stressful situations, and making sure goals and values are in sync are a few tips the Putnams shared. More words from Dale and Sarah. Spend time together, talk, share, laugh, hug, recognize which issues are small and which are big, and learn to let go of the ones that really won't matter in a week or two. Don't take one another for granted because you never know what the next day will bring. Do little things for your partner without being asked. Say thank you and mean it. Listen and learn from one another because change is inevitable over time. That was Sarah and Dale Putnam. All right. That is basically it for this actual newspaper. There is even less news than usual, I'm going to say. Tons of ads because it's free. So, but there was an Echoes of the Past, and we always like the Echoes of the Past because the past is interesting. And here we go. Fire department raises $350 at Big Ball, 1921, 100 years ago. The boys of the Decorah Fire Department cleared more than $350 at the Grand Masquerade Ball given for the department at Stiers Hall recently. It was one of the biggest and best dances given here in years, and the crowd was the largest also. The gallery was packed with spectators, and the lower floor was packed also. The boys gave a good dance, a clean, enjoyable affair from start to finish, which shows that public dances can be conducted in good order and no one need take offense in attending them. Miss Lucille Sorensen had the best costume and was awarded $5 in gold from the fire department. Miss Lois Chin was the most graceful dancer and won herself a sweater from Graham's store. Miss Leona Donaldson had the finest fancy costume and won a pair of kid gloves from Connor Brothers and Knight Store. Mrs. Oscar Halverson came in the most comical costume. She won a pair of silk hose from F.J. Rosenthal's. A beautiful umbrella from Mott & Company went to Miss Vera Ott and her best Irish costume. A fashionable petticoat from Coat and Suit Store was awarded Mrs. Roy Brown for having the best Norwegian costume. Mrs. A.M. Keeley was the stoutest lady dancer. What does that mean? And was given a picture by Decorah Furniture Company. Miss Dorothy Ellingson was dressed up as the blackest lady dancer and won 1,000 pounds of coal from Ingolstadt Lumber. The men winning prizes included Frank O'Brien and Roy Nelson, who had the most comical costume. They won some spark plugs from the Motor Supply Company. I wonder if that is the Roy Nelson who lives here's father. A box of Little J cigars went to Harvey Hansen for best costume of any nationality. Carl Ivans had the best soldier costume and took home a sack of flour from Emil Rosenthal. Harry Grindeland was the best jig dancer and got an oil mop given by Willis and Ness. Best hobo costume went to Herbert Baker, who won a tire pump from Star Vulcanizing Works. That sounded like a fun dance. The building of the Luther College Library and Museum will be constructed by local contractor A.R. Coffin. His winning bid of $64,077 and work will begin March 1st. A second story of the building will be used as a general reading room and with accommodations for 60 students at one time. 1931, 90 years ago. Famous Notre Dame football coach Knute Rockne is speaking at Luther College Gymnasium. Thursday, February 5th, 1931. He is billed as an exceptionally clever and entertaining speaker. Sheriff Graff and his deputies were out the other day about the city having been advised of some moist places, despite the fact that it had been a rather dry season. They located 3 gallons of alcohol and 7 half pints, but no arrests have been made. Moist places. All right. 2 recent sales of Winneshiek County land are encouraging indications of a demand for good farms and fair prices. They show that farmers feel confident better times for agriculture are on the way. There also are indications that when everything is considered, there is no safer investment than farmland. Acres near Ridgeway, which brought a bit more than $100 an acre. One sale to which we refer is the 80 acres of land just west of Decorah, which recently sold for $150 per acre. Another farm sale mentioned locally a few weeks ago was a farm of 160 acres around Ridgeway, which brought more than the expected $100 per acre. Let's see. The design for the front cover of the well-known magazine Etude was drawn by Decorah's artist Charles Philip Hexam, not related to me. The drawing is titled "The Old Time Fiddler," showed an aged fiddler playing with his dog as his only audience. Jefferson Bus Lines has a new service schedule. Low fares from Decorah to the following areas. Decorah to Waukon, 60 cents. Decorah to Calmer, 35 cents. And Decorah to Minneapolis, $5. Front page news. In 1931, the barber shop and beauty parlor owned and operated by Edward Herwig has installed a modern new machine, the Blood Rub, for the scientific treatment for the scalp. The Blood Rub, and it's spelled BLUDRUB, gently but firmly gripping the scalp and giving a deep, thorough manipulation. Free demonstrations are available now. Come on and try the famous Blood Rub. Well, I don't know. Maybe if they pull all your hair out. Shop today for the world's lowest priced car. Price is $895. Freewheeling is the name of the greatest automobile advancement since the electric starter. O.O. Ellingson has them in stock. Stop today for a glimpse of the modern driving machines. Freewheeling. Sounds fun. The ice harvest opened here this week, and Bartlett brothers were out cutting near the bridge. R.O. Yegerson was cutting at Trout Run. Fred Stock of the Frankville area has been feeling very poorly. Dr. Reminger from over at Waukon was called to come and see him last Sunday, and that made the newspaper in 1931. A play called Le Tumult was presented in 3 acts under the auspices of the DeSale alumni at the Opera House last week in Austin. A capacity house was on hand and proceeds totaled nearly $114. The new Ford car, priced at $430, has more than 20 ball and roller bearings. This means smoother operation, saves gasoline, increases speed and power, and gives longer life to vital parts. The Hospital Club's annual meeting was conducted last week. The women of this fine club have fallen into line with a renewed vigor, and there are now 12 active units representing many areas of town, raising funds for everything from curtains and nursery garments to a modern new elevator. All right, and that was basically it. It was a bridal issue and echoes of the past. So we move on to public opinion. For today, we've got Greg Swanson. Here is his picture. Has joined the City of Decorah as Code Compliance Officer. In addition to enforcing building codes, he will oversee Decorah's zoning ordinance, which includes plan review, permitting on-site inspections, zoning code compliance, and rental inspection. Alliant Energy installs final battery modules at Venium Park. The final modules were recently added to the Alliant Energy battery at the Venium Park Decorah. The battery will be operational this spring. It is designed to store solar power by working as an electron bank. Energy will then be released as power demand peaks. The project is currently supported by a $250,000 cost share from the U.S. Department of Energy, Office of Electricity, and from the Iowa Economic Development Authority. That's great. Today, the Decorah Public School employees are getting their COVID-19 vaccine. That's great, too. Let's see. Governor's safety rollbacks leave healthcare professionals concerned. The recent lifting of COVID-19 safety protocols by the governor has caught the attention of the state's healthcare workers, including those here in Winneshiek County. Local health agencies across the state are very concerned about these rollbacks and their potential rise in the case counts. There were 272 cases in January in Winneshiek County. We're steadily going down from the highs in November, but we can't give up on masking and social distancing. So looks like there's a little disagreement with Governor Reynolds. All right. What else have we got? We have in the religion section a brief article by Christopher Simon, and he says, "Only love can conquer hate. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." Matthew 7, verse 12. That love is the antidote to hatred is a message that bears repeating. Every major religion has made this point one way or another, and yet it is a lesson that some never learn. The Buddha put it this way: hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Jesus said something similar 5 centuries later. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, and you may be the children of your Father in heaven. Likewise, in the Quran, we hear these words: good and evil cannot be equal. Respond to evil with what is best. Then the one you are in feud with will be like a close friend. This is a hard lesson for us to learn, as we often think that the person who harmed us deserves to be harmed, but the path of revenge just leads to ever-growing cycles of violence and hatred. The only way to stop the cycle of hatred and turn the tide is with love. Now more than ever, do what the world needs now and love more and hate less. Do your part to sow the seeds of love wherever you can, and especially if you are contending with hatred or animosity. That is good advice. All right. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. We're just going to go to Echoes of the Past because it's kind of a slow news week. But the good news is that the teachers here are getting their vaccine in Decorah, and I know they've been waiting for that. Okay, Echoes of the Past. 80 years ago, 1941, the Decorah Police Department's recent dance at Matter's Ballroom raised enough funds to establish the office headquarters on the second floor of the Decorah Journal office. The good sum of money raised will go towards renting the office from Fred Bierman. Desks, chairs, and telephones have been installed. The police will have a modern filing system to keep records of all police calls and arrests. The new headquarters does not entail any expense for the city, as the officers are doing the financing themselves. The current practice of police calls reported by turning on a red light on Water Street and Mechanic Street will still be maintained. It also has been announced that Mayor Baker will attend a desk in the rented headquarters. Mott Company, the well-known dry goods and ladies' ready-to-wear store here in town, is announcing its 40th business anniversary. This is of great importance and interest to the people of Decorah. 1951, 70 years ago, a grocery store will open for business soon in the McCall Building at 110 Washington Street. A partnership comprised of Marvin Clokey and Raymond Smith has leased the building. The Board of Supervisors have arranged for the purchase of a flagpole to be erected in front of the courthouse. It will be high enough so the flag will be higher than the main roof of the courthouse. Blizzard conditions in the area were so bad that it took Dr. Donald Moore of Decorah, the local veterinarian, and Bert Pokorny, approximately 5 hours to reach the farm of Freeman Wangless, northeast of Burr Oak. Temperatures had fallen to 25 degrees below zero, and the winds were blowing up to 40 miles per hour, blocking traffic along every road and highway in this area. I remember when Doc was a resident here. Everybody knew him when we would go out on outings. 60 years ago, the battle against Dutch elm disease in Iowa will be taken up at the local level by a committee comprised of Mayor Rosenthal, County Extension Director Weigel, and others in the area. The city's plan to convert the old police station and the unused Chamber of Commerce office into 2 apartments on Winnebago Street has been delayed. 50 years ago, Boucher Produce, the 43-year-old Calmer egg processing plant and feed mill, was incorporated under a new name, NOR. Egg is the company's new name. Noregg? I don't know. The push is on for Senator Floyd Gilley and Representative John Mendenhall in the Iowa General Assembly to funnel educational television into northeast Iowa. This is the only section of eastern part of the state not served by the educational television system. Let's see. Parents were moved from the old hospital into the brand new Winneshiek County Memorial Hospital. Not parents, patients were moved from the old hospital into the brand new Winneshiek County Memorial Hospital last week. That's good. 1981, 40 years ago, an announcement may be coming soon from the county supervisors on the identity of replacement for Gary Gable, who has resigned as administrator for Winneshiek County Care Facility here. 2 pedestrians, Doris Bergen and Grace Spildy, were bruised and bumped when they were struck by a car on slick roads in the pedestrian crosswalk at the Jack and Jill parking lot entrance the other day. Mr. and Mrs. Melvin Underbacke of Burr Oak, longtime insurance agents in the area, have sold their business. Let's see. 1991, 30 years ago. Families in the area are organizing to support Desert Storm. Pray for peace. Norway's King Olav has died. He visited here 4 times. Bids opened this week for the City of Decorah's new police department. The cost of the project is estimated at $600,000. Day Spring Spa is hosting a hands and heart massage class, massage techniques, tips for creating a nurturing environment, and a massage kit are included in the cost. Let's see. 2001, 20 years ago, North Winneshiek students have taken a national grand prize in a space exploration contest. The 7th grade class received a 3-day trip to Florida for a special tour of the Kennedy Space Center. 3 Decorah teachers with a combined experience of over 100 years have announced their retirements. Gary Roberts, Lonnie Brown, and Daryl Landis. 2011, 10 years ago, Spencer Weiss, the son of Marty and Gail Weiss of Decorah, and Helen Johnson, the daughter of Andrew and Emily Johnson, are winners of the Decorah Elks 6th grade essay contest. They each received $25. Robert Bob Riley of Austin has received a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Associated General Contractors of Iowa. And Hart's Tea and Tarts on Water Street is closed for winter vacation. That's going to be it for current events. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you again next Friday. Thank you.